Welcome back to Tip Tuesday. In a previous tip, I talked about the importance of logging your equipment in a journal or on your phone to understand RGs and differentials. This week, we're going to dive into what those numbers are and what they mean. So this week I decided who better than Bryan O'Keefe to help us understand RGs and differentials.
I thought you were going to mention my big brain.
So let's first talk about the RG numbers.
The lower the RG number, all it really is talking about is the ball's ability to get into the roll. The higher the RG number is going to be the harder it is for the ball to get into a roll. When bowlers are looking at RG and what that actually means, the lower that number,
the earlier the ball wants to be?
The earlier the core is generally wanting to make that ball hook. The higher the number, the longer down the lane, the more lopey the core is going to be. So in terms of the numbers that you may see the manufacturers publish, I'd say a low RG would be anything below 2.50. So anything starting 2.4 something, I would consider that low RG. Medium RG would be 2.50 to 2.53. And then anything above that 2.53 number, I would say that is like a higher RG standard.
Well, that was extremely easy for me to understand. Thank you, Bryan. Now we're gonna move.
I got a big brain.
We're gonna move into the differential numbers.
It's probably easiest just to think about that in terms of hook potential. The higher the differential, more hook potential for the bowling ball.
So it's opposite of the RG. So if you're looking at a lower RG ball, like a 246, and a higher differential.
Yeah, you're gonna look at a pretty strong bowling ball. You're gonna look at one that is going to be trying to roll pretty early because we mentioned that low RG. So that core is very low. It's more center heavy. And then the difference between spinning along this axis and this axis is very high. There's a big difference between the two. So as that ball is rolling down the lane, it's going to try and stabilize itself and it's going to flare a lot. So hook potential, flare potential is dictated by that differential.
So the way that I like to remember it is as long as you understand that RG, a lower RG means the ball wants to roll earlier, and then the higher RG, the longer it wants to go before it gets into that roll. The differential is just the opposite. The higher the differential, the bigger the flare potential, more hook potential. So it's just the opposite.
Yeah, so, I mean, just thanks for having me. I mean, we've been doing these Tip Tuesdays now for quite some time. You finally had the big-brained husband on, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. You're very welcome. You guys, I really hope this tip helps. Good luck out there, and we'll see you next week.